Deep beneath the surface, hidden for centuries, lies secrets that could rewrite history. Uncovering astonishing relics, archaeologists have stumbled upon incredible finds that were never meant to be seen. What shocking truths do these buried treasures reveal? Northern Europe's bogs occasionally reveal remarkably well-preserved ancient bodies, known as bog bodies. These bodies are not only fascinating due to their preservation, but also because of the violent deaths many of them suffered. In May 1983, the discovery of a human skull at Lindow Moss in Cheshire, England, led to a murder confession. However, the skull belonged to a woman who lived 1,600 years earlier, opening a much older case for archaeologists. The bog's acidic, low-oxygen environment preserved bodies for thousands of years, as seen with one such body which retained even an eyeball. Many bog bodies date back to as early as 2000 BC. Unlike typical Iron Age burials, these individuals, often young and healthy, suffered violent deaths. One such body, discovered a year after the initial find, had been struck on the head, garroted, and had his throat cut, indicating ritualistic sacrifices. Advances in forensics technology continue to shed light on these ancient practices and beliefs, revealing a complex and intriguing past. The identities of 4 pivotal figures from the first permanent English settlement in the Americas has been revealed through chemical analysis of their skeletons and historical documents. These high-status men, buried at the 1608 Jamestown Church in Virginia, played crucial roles in the early colony. Their bones provide a unique glimpse into life during the earliest days of America, offering details not found in history books. English settlers first arrived in Jamestown in 1607, marking it as a prime location for a fortified settlement. Over the following years, the settlement faced severe hardships, including the starving time of 1609, when nearly 250 people died, some resorting to cannibalism. In 2013, researchers unearthed these bodies near the historic Jamestown Church. To identify the men, the team combined genealogical and historical documents with chemical analyses of the skeletons. Elite individuals often had higher levels of lead in their bones due to the use of lead-containing pewter and ceramics. One identified man was a relative of the Virginia governor who died in 1610. Another, who perished after a conflict with the Powhatan Indians, was identified through a decayed military sash. Another was a man who died during the starving times, buried with the artifact suggesting he may have secretly practiced Catholicism. The last was a reverend, buried facing west towards his congregation. Further analysis may confirm these identities, and researchers hope to extract usable DNA from the remains. However, identifying other individuals from historic Jamestown remains challenging due to the limited traces left of most settlers. The fire mummies of the Philippines, also referred to as the Cagayan mummies, Benguet mummies, or Eerily mummies, are a unique group of mummies discovered along the mountain slopes of Cagayan, Benguet, in northern Philippines. These mummies date back as early as 2000 BCE and can be found in natural caves and a museum in Cagayan. Created by the Eerily people between 1200 and 1500 CE, the fire mummies are distinctive due to their mummification process. This process began shortly before death, with the individual consuming a very salty drink. Post-mortem, the body was washed and positioned over a fire in a seated stance to dry the fluids. Smoke from tobacco was blown into the mouth to dry the internal organs. Herbs were then rubbed into the body before it was placed in a pine wood coffin and laid to rest in rock shelters, natural caves, or man-made burial niches. The mummies were first uncovered by Westerners in the early 20th century, although they had been known to local communities for centuries. Many mummies were stolen due to the unprotected nature of the caves, leading to the site being declared one of the 100 most endangered in the world by Monument Watch. Increased logging operations in the area further exposed the caves, resulting in more looting and vandalism. Efforts have since been made to protect the mummies. In 1998, the Cagayan mummies were listed in the World Monuments Watch by the World Monuments Fund, receiving funding for emergency conservation and a comprehensive management plan. Local authorities have also undertaken cultural awareness campaigns and constructed tourist facilities to control visitation and prevent further harm. The fire mummies remain in natural caves with minimal security and are considered one of the world's most endangered heritage sites. Additional mummies are known to exist, but their locations are kept secret to protect them from vandalism. In May of 2024, the National Museum of the Philippines announced a PHP 25 million rehabilitation project for the National Museum Cagayan Site 1, which houses female mummies and a collection of artifacts related to local death rites and the mummification process. The Cagayan mummy burial caves are listed as National Cultural Treasures and are under consideration as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In the Viking settlement on the Stens in Denmark, archaeologists have made a surprising discovery: a 2-meter deep hole believed to be Denmark's oldest toilet. Radiocarbon dating of the fecal matter within this hole confirms its origins in the Viking Age. A PhD student from the museum Southeast Denmark stumbled upon this find while searching for pit houses, which are semi-subterranean workshop huts. However, further examination revealed that the hole served a different purpose entirely. This discovery challenges long-held assumptions about Viking sanitation practices, particularly in rural areas. Until now, it was believed that Vikings in agricultural settings used their waste as fertilizer and did not have designated toilet facilities. Urban Viking settlements were known to have privy buildings to manage large quantities of waste, but such structures were not thought to exist in the countryside. Macrofossil and pollen analyses of the bottom layer of the hole revealed mineralized seeds and a high concentration of fly pupae, indicative of fecal matter. This suggests that the hole was indeed used as a toilet. The absence of such findings in other rural Viking sites may be due to archaeologists overlooking these fecal layers, mistaking them for other types of deposits. Further scientific analysis identified a high concentration of pollen from insect pollinating plants, such as those found in honey or mead, suggesting these substances were part of the Viking diet. The lack of airborne pollen in the soil layers implies that the hole was likely covered, possibly within a small structure. This hypothesis is supported by the discovery of 2 post holes near the pit, which could indicate the presence of a small building that reduced airborne pollen. This significant find not only potentially marks the oldest toilet in Denmark, but also prompts a re-evaluation of Viking sanitary practices in rural areas. The discovery suggests that toilets may have been more common in Viking settlements than previously thought, challenging existing theories and opening new avenues for archaeological research. Borobudur, located in Magelang Regency, Central Java, Indonesia, stands as a monumental testament to Mahayana Buddhism. Constructed in the 9th century during the reign of the Sailendra dynasty, this temple exemplifies the pinnacle of Javanese Buddhist architecture. The temple, built from gray andesite-like stone, features 9 stacked platforms, 6 square and 3 circular, culminating in a central dome. Adorning Borobudur are 2,672 relief panels and an original array of 504 Buddha statues, with the central dome encircled by 72 Buddha statues seated within perforated stupas. This intricate design guides pilgrims through a maze of stairways and corridors, offering a journey depicted in 1,460 narrative relief panels, making Borobudur home to one of the world's most extensive collections of Buddhist reliefs. Constructed around the 8th century, Borobudur served as a shrine and pilgrimage site for Buddhists. However, it was abandoned in the 14th century, likely due to the decline of Hindu kingdoms in Java and the rise of Islam. Its existence was brought to international attention in 1814 by Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, the British ruler of Java at the time, who learned of its location from local inhabitants. Borobudur has undergone significant preservation efforts, the most extensive of which was completed in 1983 by the Indonesian government and UNESCO, leading to its designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, it is revered as the largest Buddhist temple globally. The etymology of Borobudur has been a subject of debate. The term Candi in Indonesian refers to ancient temples, and locals call it Candi Borobudur. Some theories suggest the name is derived from Boro, big, and Budur, Buddha, while others propose that it came from the Javanese term Budhara, meaning mountain. The construction of Borobudur, with no known records detailing its purpose or construction timeline, is estimated to have taken place over several stages during the Sailendra and Sanjaya dynasties. The temple's construction was facilitated by a climate of religious tolerance, allowing Hindu and Buddhist influences to coexist. Hidden for centuries under volcanic ash and jungle growth, Borobadur's abandonment remains shrouded in mystery. It was likely abandoned between the 10th and 15th centuries, possibly due to volcanic activity or the region's conversion to Islam. Homo luzonensis, also known as Calao Man, represents a unique chapter in human evolution. Discovered in Calao Cave in the Philippines. Believed to have existed before 50,000 years ago, this species is characterized by a blend of modern human-like and primitive Australopithecus-like features. Initially mistaken for modern humans, further discoveries in 2019 led to its reclassification as a distinct species. The remains of Homo luzonensis include teeth and various bones such as phalanges and a femoral shaft, representing at least 3 individuals. These artifacts are housed at the National Museum of the Philippines, offering valuable insights into the evolutionary history of humans in Southeast Asia. There are intriguing hypotheses about the origins of Homo luzonensis, suggesting they may have descended from ancient Homo species that migrated to the Philippines via a sea route. This migration would have required crossing significant distances of open water, underscoring the adaptability and seafaring capabilities of these early humans. Similar to other insular species like Homo floresiensis, Homo luzonensis may have undergone a process of insular dwarfism, potentially leading to smaller body sizes compared to their mainland ancestors. However, due to the fragmentary nature of the remains, conclusive evidence on their physical stature remains elusive. Continued research and potential future discoveries are crucial for unraveling the complete story of Homo luzonensis, shedding light on their evolutionary adaptations, behaviors, and their place within the broader human family tree. Evidence of cannibalism in Europe spans from ancient prehistory to more recent historical periods, revealing varied motivations and cultural contexts. In prehistoric times, both Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens engaged in cannibalistic practices, as indicated by archaeological finds of butchered human remains in sites like the Gran Dolina cave in Spain, dating back about 800,000 years. These instances were likely driven by factors such as food scarcity and ritualistic behaviors, contributing to our understanding of early human societies. In later periods, cannibalism continued to manifest for diverse reasons. Greek and Roman accounts mention cannibal customs among distant tribes, reflecting cultural perceptions and conflicts beyond their borders. During periods of famine and siege, such as the Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, survival cannibalism emerged as a desperate measure to sustain life amidst scarcity. The early modern era saw instances of cannibalism among shipwrecked sailors who resorted to consuming the deceased to survive. Even during religious conflicts like the First Crusade, reports suggest that some crusaders consumed the flesh of their enemies. More recent instances include survival cannibalism during 20th century famines in Eastern Europe and cases of individuals, like serial killers, consuming their victims. These acts, whether driven by necessity, survival instinct, or psychological disorders, underscore the complexity of human behavior across different historical and cultural contexts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating discoveries. See you next time!